What's up everyone, my name is Andrew Fong. Welcome back to the second video of the scripting audio conversation using Google's speech-to-text API and also Python Dash. So in this video, we'll be mainly focusing on how to actually move the getting transcript function online so that users can actually load in their own audio file and getting the corresponding transcript of it. So just a short recap of the last video, we have been working mostly on the speaker.py. So as you can see, we load in a sample speech file, which is driving English conversation sample.mp3. And after the configuration and recognition by Google's API, we're able to print out the transcript here. And the corresponding result is here. So the main task today is to first wrap everything inside speaker.py into a function called getTranscript, and also create another script called main.py to get Dash running and allow users to import their own audio or media files. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so let's start to wrap everything inside here into a function. So the main input of this function is the speech file. So we won't be declaring the speech file here. Rather than declaring it locally, we will allow users to import their own audio samples. So let's cross this out and let's wrap everything inside a function. So the function name will be getTranscript. And that will take in the speech file, which will be used here. And this function will return us a script, which can be found here. So let's do return script. And instead of printing it out, we will store it inside this list. And another thing we should do is to actually add a new line symbol after each speaker has finished their own sentences. So we can do that using plus new line, which is a \n, and that will do for our function here. So we'll now go ahead and create a new file which is called main.py. And that will be used to initiate everything related to Dash and also hosting the whole website online. So let's go ahead and first from speaker import the function name, which is getTranscript here, so that we can use the function here. So we'll now go ahead and hop on to the official Dash site to take a look at how we can actually get the upload component done. So there are actually a bunch of samples dealing with different file types. For example, the first one will deal with CSV and also Excel files, and when users upload them, they will be displayed in terms of a table. And the second one is actually what we need. Instead of displaying the user's upload of images, we'll be dealing with audios, which is HTML.audio files components. Like we can test it here. For example, we can do our driving conversation mp3, and let's see what does it return. So we see the file name, the last, I believe this is the last time this file has been modified, and this should display an image, but we actually uploaded an mp3 file, so no images can be shown, and also some raw contents and the data. So this piece of code is what we wanted, so let's go ahead and copy this and paste it inside our main.py. Okay, so I can explain briefly on how this piece of code structure and how it works. So the first part is the app layout, which will deal with the front-end interface of how it looks when before the users have uploaded their own contents. So this part will be surrounded by an HTML div, and inside it will be a dash upload component, and this will be dealing with style and also allowing users to upload multiple files. And for the parse content, this function will be called whenever users has uploaded their own media files, and this will return a div just as we have just seen. This div will cover the file name, the last modified date, some raw content, and also the data related to the files. So this will be the file name, the date, the image that should display. So this thing here, we should change it to audio file instead, and a line break, and some raw contents, and also the raw content of the video. So the last part is the callback function, which is called update output. So the essential concept of this callback function is to update the list of contents displayed on the website. For example, a user upload the first image and then decide to upload the second image, then the file name and also the last modified date will be changed, and this will be passed in as inputs, and the front end will change according to the output children. And last but not least, the last two lines will be actually creating and running the Dash server. So let's make some changes to fit our project. Okay, so let's go ahead and make some changes on the output. So once again, this parse content function will be dealing with the layout after an upload is detected, and the top one will be the initial layout. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete this, and once again we won't be needing the images. Instead we'll be needing an audio file, so html.audio, and we can set the ID to be player. The source will be also contents, controls equals true, so that people can interact with the control bar and make some changes, for example muting and also changing the timestamps. And we can set the style to be the width being 50%. So width will be 50%. That should do it. So in that line break, we need the file name, the last modified time, the audio file, a line break, and instead of raw content we can change this to be transcript, and delete this and get some HTML.plain text, and which is the script. So we haven't defined the script yet, so let's go ahead and do so now. Before we make changes to the layout, we have to make sure that if content is none, then the following script won't execute. So if the content is not none, then we can parse the contents into content type and also the content string. So what I mean by content string is actually, when we take a look at the example, this will be the content type, which is an MPEG file or an MP3, and the content string will be this one, which will be related to the file name, after the upload has been done. So we will need both of them. Equals content dot split. We split by the comma. Okay. And then we can go ahead and get the actual script from using the speaker function, the get transcript function inside speaker.py. So script equals get transcript, which is the file name. Okay. And that will return us this line of code. So let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. Okay, let's head on to terminals and do Python. Instead of speaker, we can do main.py. And we have the server mode on. We will just need to copy this URL and then head over to Safari or any browser that you need and paste it. So we have the basic interface. Let's try and upload the file, MP3. So it will probably take some time to load. Okay, so we have everything. We have the driving conversation file name, the last modified date, and let's play this.
Listen to an interesting story we talked about in the driving conversation.
What about you? What have you been pulled over for?
I've been pulled over for jail.
Okay, so I guess you get the idea. So another thing that we should work on is to actually intelligently distinguish between different audio files. For example, we have MP3, we have WAV, which are both audio files. But in the Google's speech-to-text API, we can actually change this recognition configuration to be WAV. So what we should do is to actually use the content type that we have defined and to change the configuration accordingly. So let's go ahead and implement this. So we have the content type. We can just place it inside the get transcript function, and we change this function to be content type, to have an input as content type as well. So if the WAV is in content type, then we'll return this config. And which is linear 16, else if MPG, which is an MP3, is in content type, then we can return the same thing. But instead, we will return MP3. We can also write more conditions. For example, elif flag is in content type. Then we can just change the configuration again. I assume that you can understand the main idea here. So it's flag. Okay, so let's save this, and hopefully we can refresh this, and let's upload man1 WAV and see whether it detects. Okay, let's hear it.
In the course of a December tour in Yorkshire, I rode for a long distance in one of the public coaches on the day preceding Christmas.
Okay, so it currently detects two speakers because I specified the enable speaker diarization to be true and also the diarization speaker count to be 2. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the tutorial today. I hope that you learned something about the Google Speech-to-Text API and also how to get an web application hosted on Dash. So mind you that the speech detection configurations has to be tuned. For example, whenever you have an audio file, it's better that you match the sample rate hertz to that audio file's informations to ensure that you can enhance the accuracy and also distinguish between different speakers. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give a thumbs up and also subscribe for more contents like this. And all the source code will be provided in the description below, and all the links will also be in the description. Thanks for watching and see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.